bring the program to a close there. But wherever you are, this is Starr Radio UK. This is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Do me a massive favor. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. So let's kick off. Now, the question of the day is quite an interesting one. This morning it says, where success is assumed to have come by chance, it is an opportunity that needs to be exploited depending on your level of preparation and self-awareness. Now, if you don't prepare yourself, as I do say all the time, success will come, and that success is going to ruin you. It's going to kill you. Let me put it that way, blatantly. But I hope that bringing you these programs and everything that we do, you are able to adhere to it and prepare yourself for the opportunities that will come your way, so that opportunity doesn't actually destroy you. Let me say good morning to the Hammers, the Biddies. In these difficult times, I want to salute each and every one of you for all that you are doing. Yes. Thank you very much for your support. So we're going to join the Starr Radio, and then after that, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right. Okay, just moving on to some of the, okay, interesting, there or there, all right then, just bear with me, okay, yeah, all right. Okay, we move on to the other, the weather forecast. My apologies there for you. So for the weather today, it's quite an interesting one. Yeah, it's like we come back to summer, some sort of summer, you know. Well. For those of you in London and southeastern part of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today. Now, this evening will remain dry, patchy cloud, and the sunny spells will be present for much of the day. In the evening, the cloud will thicken, but there will still be a few late sunny breaks. It's going to be breezy as well. Tonight will be dry for all, though there will continue to be a mixture of patchy low cloud and clear spells throughout. So in the gist, that's what is going to happen. Now, total temperature is going to be 21 degrees, the low is going to be 13 degrees other than it being of late. And then pollution is going to be low, UV level moderate, and sunset 1909 is sunrise for tomorrow morning, 0639 hours. So this is Starr Radio. You can now moving on straight to the travels as well. What have I got for you?
For updates.
Yes.
And then we'll come out.
The underground is running a good service. The London Cable, London DLR good service, London Tramley good service, but London Underground is experiencing past suspension, no service between New Cross Gate and Crystal Palace and West Croydon while they respond to fire alert at Brockley. Now, London Underground are accepting valid tickets, good service on all the other routes. When it comes to the major routes in London, I can tell you assuredly, good service. There are no exceptional delays there. The River Bus is running a good service. London Cable Car, good service. Bringing us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That's the National Rail. On the National Rail this morning, Avanti West Coast, minor delays. C2C, minor delays. Cross Country, special service. Great Western Railway, special service. Island Line, special service. Northern Rail, special service. Scott Rail, special service. Southwestern Railway, minor delays. Southern, severe delays. And Thames Link, severe delays there as well. Also, Transport to Wales running is experiencing minor delays. So if you want to travel by all those means, please check before you leave. Let me say it once again, as I normally will. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the roads. Let's take a quick break. We come back and hopefully we'll be able to bring you the global trotting before we have Olayomi Koiki in.
Hi everyone, it's my customers. Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, look at your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program. This is Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And as I did say, Mr. Olayomi Koiki has joined us this morning. It's been a while, so let us all welcome him. Let's say, Yomi, good morning to you and welcome. It's been a while.
Well, shout out to you, Archie, and I think I was in contact with Frank a couple of days ago, as we do, even as much as we haven't been on air for a couple of months now, not few weeks, but as we are working behind the scene, you've been holding on to the conversation because Africa has a big role to play, when it comes to the continent, and until we do, what we do best, to make sure that, the community, right here in the United Kingdom and around the world are up to date, with what is happening. It's good to be back this morning. And like I said, in February, when I said, we're going to be taking a short break, we will see how far we can, start slowly getting back, because it seems some of the project that we had in hand, is winding down a little bit, but it's still there. And as you know, project never finished, but it's good to be back with you this morning. And I know there's a lot that has happened, since you've been catching up with the news in Nigeria and Ghana. But again, this morning, as usual, there's always news happening in Nigeria. So it's good to be back. And with all our listeners, let's say good morning to Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Well, listeners, that is your man, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, this morning, all the way from North London, where he's broadcasting from this morning. Yes. Now, it's been quite an interesting time. Let's start from here. Now, let's start from a bit before we come to Dangote and everything that is going on in the economy of Nigeria, which we know people are interested in knowing. But let's start from the events after Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho left Nigeria, came to Europe, and his visit to the UK. Yes, we captured all that bit and everything. And now getting to a point where we're going to be having this dinner night in October. Now, people have been, so what is going on? People are following. Others are asking, what exactly has been going on? So can you just give us a recap of what has gone on a bit, and then we come to the substantive story that is making around this morning?
Well, so much has happened, that even some thought maybe the movement is completely dead, since, Tinubu became the president, almost a year ago now. But as usual in every movement, and movement has always been like that, around the world, there will always be the ups and downs. So what we saw was, Igboho, who is the main lead, and also the leader, Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Igboho was finally released, from Benin Republic. He's been back and forth. To be surprised, it was in Ghana over the weekend because there was some engagement with the Yoruba community and some of those back in Ghana as well. So he was actually in Ghana this weekend. But as usual, what the expectation of people is that maybe the Yoruba people are no longer even interested in asking for the right to self-determination. I can tell you that is a complete total false. Igboho and Professor Banji Akintoye and the Yoruba self-determination movement are working in a different strategic, because since we are trying to avoid a war and the anarchy and crisis, so what you have to do is the engagement must continue. And that engagement will be coming to the UK. I'll be telling you about that. But let's give you up to speed, especially for those of our followers and our listeners around the world. Probably because I've not been on air with you, even thought maybe that the Yoruba nation is gone, and it hasn't been like that. I can say that the Yoruba nation is still an ongoing project, but like I said, you have to change the strategy. We wrote to the President Bola Tinubu that we found out that he was at the St. Mary's in Paddington. I thought maybe he was there for a clinical, or some say he was just there for a visit. Buhari spent most of his time in London, the continuity of what we call visitation to the medical sector here in the UK. We're going to be talking about that as well in Nigeria. So what I can confirm is that, yes, the president was written a letter. It never responded back, just like Buhari never did. A strong letter has now been issued to him again and also to the United Nations. And like I said, that means that, the engagement in terms of the diplomacy. Right before I came on air, I was watching, how the Sudan, became a country. But we got to remember a lot of bloodshed. The Yoruba people are trying to avoid as much of bloodshed. And that is why the engagement will be coming down to the UK which we are calling the 1 million rally march. You know, the Metropolitan Police has been, you know, told about this event. There's also going to be a dinner that you mentioned. You know, remember that Igbo's birthday has been, you know, one turnaround that we've not really celebrated him since, you know, he's captured in Benin Republic for the last 2 years. So what we can confirm now that, you know, he has said, look, you know, he can celebrate it with us in London, but it's not about the birthday. It's all about that match that would then kick off what we can call the biggest campaign that will ignite, re-engineer, and especially after, you know, that 419 woman came into the movement. We thought she was part of us, you know, and I don't want to give her, you know, any kind of publicity anymore on this platform because we thought she was one of us, but I can confirm officially now that she was working. Just like Tinubu destroyed so many organizations within the Yoruba community, Tinubu actually used the woman to interfere into the affair of what Professor Adebanji Akintoye wanted to portray to the international community. So this October the 12th, there will be a rally, a march from the BBC Broadcasting House in London all the way to Regent Street, which is going to bring more kind of publicity, you know, to the movement itself. That would then lead us to Trafalgar Square, and then we end up at the number 10 Downing Street. Remember that over 10 years of the conservative government that made a lot of issues. Now that we have the new Labour Party, maybe Keir Starmer and the Foreign Minister David Lammy might listen to us, and then we move to the Parliament, then come back into the Nigerian High Commission. Igbowo will be leading this, and that is what makes it different this time around. And we're expecting as many people that are flying from all over the world. I can tell you that Aziz will be flying from Miami. A lot of our, you know, delegates are coming from Finland, from Germany, from Nigeria. It's going to be one fantastic event. Even a London Red Bus has been put on hold that will carry those that might not be able to walk. So that is the expectation. And I believe other activities continue to go on behind the scene. You know, when you're talking to countries that you want to leave a country, those countries doesn't want you to publicize it, but I can tell you that even the kings in the Yoruba land are now working quietly, and we should be hearing from them very soon with the United Nations.
Wow, wow, wow. Listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, for you bringing you a bit of updates pertaining to the Yoruba Nation movement, okay? The move for independence and everything that we talked about in the past, and it's like, it's not dead, it's not quiet. No, the fight still goes on. As we say, Aluta continua there. Interesting. Now, let's now come to today's some of the stories.
And just before we go into that as well, let's make it because this is a platform that respect and love humans, but sometimes we lose human. The face behind you is Barrister Dr. Janet Fashakin, one of the leader of the Yoruba self-determination struggle. One of the leaders that also has supported the Nigerian community in America, in New York, where she has helped with family matters, immigration, but she passed on Friday, and may her soul rest in peace.
Okay. We also say from here, may her soul rest in perfect peace. And as many who have lost loved ones, we say to them, may their souls rest in perfect peace. And our condolences to you all. All right then. So now let's come to with everything that is going on, you put the president on the rocket goes flying high. Interesting. Now we have the labor unions, the various unions in the country doing everything, stopping everything, and people actually struggling. And we know ultimatums and strikes that have gone on. And we know last week or last 2 weeks when one of the union leaders was flying.
Ajero was meant to be in London for the conference, the TUC conference, but was stopped at the airport. Yes, Showore was also stopped there, just about the weekend. But it looks like pressure, didn't allow them to hold him longer because of those outside that were campaigning. But his passport was seized on his way back to Nigeria. And he was asked the question, why is he back? He said, well, Nigeria remains my country. I don't even have an American passport, and I don't have to be scared of coming back home. So, he's been released right now because he has a ongoing court case. And he says he doesn't have to give reason why he's back in Nigeria, even though 1st of October, they're talking about Fearless October Day as well.
Well, we'll see whether the what do you call them, the SSS. We are call them the SSS. What they are going to do there. But let's talk about the fuel prices because we know that the government, the president was but the government was giving some support to various workers, and that was why they didn't. The whole of the country subsidizing fuel. But then they took that subsidy from there, and everything started going rocket high. And there's been the case where the NNPCL have been doing lots of things, coming up with prices. And I was looking at it that I think Dangote's refinery being sabotaged in a way. They were doing everything possible to stop him from doing whatever. But now we know he's going to be coming upstream, and eventually their petrol, yes, our PMS is going to be coming out pretty soon, or it's even out. Now, the price that we are seeing, yesterday we saw a price of, I think, 800 and something. And Dangote's firm was saying that, no, that wasn't the price. But now I'm seeing 950 naira a liter.
Well, it seems that the expectation of many Nigerians is that, how did we get to where a country that has large amount of crude oil, large amount of gas, but yet, the average Nigerians, doesn't even have, access to some of these, products. But the reason is because of, so many things that have gone wrong in the foundation of Nigeria that we've talked about. Let me, pick it from here before we go straight into the Dangote, refinery. And this is coming from, one of the guru in the media as well, also a public figure that everyone knows, Dele Momodu, posted this 7 hours ago. NNPC, 4 refineries, 21 petrol depot, 5,120 kilometer network of petroleum pipeline. And all we are celebrating now is loading of petrol by truck by a private refinery. That tells you that, the whole country, we've talked about that Jakarta, seems that everything is complete mess. And we know how those mess started, but the solution is why some of us are campaigning for a total exit. But yes, you talked about, the price racketing between the NNPC and Dangote went over the weekend. And, NNPC was given a different price. The Dangote was given a different price. But this morning, not the price that you're seeing on the screen. A lot of Nigerians are paying up to 1,300, even in the black market up to 1,500, to get their petrol this morning. But the headline says 915 naira per liter, Dangote petrol may justify more importation. This is coming from the marketers. So let's go into that story. The price of the premium motor spirit, popularly called the petrol, produced by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and released by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on Monday yesterday, may justify the importation of the commodity into the Nigerian oil market, I've said. The dealers also stated that the vessel of imported petrol should start arriving in the country. You will ask the question, since we have this refinery in operation, why then are we still importing into the country? Well, the Kabaz doesn't even want the Dangote refinery to be in a full functioning. And we saw that there was a fire a couple of months ago. There's still a lot going on, but it seems that Dangote cried out, and there's some sympathy from Nigerians. It looks like the presidency is also now talking with Dangote.
It's quite interesting because I remember that we had the president setting up a committee that was supposed to see to everything. But we know that the price, the Dangote, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, they were reacting to that statement by the NNPC, and they were saying that the price is the naira price that they're supposed to be buying the crude oil at. Before then, they were importing it with dollars. Therefore, their prices, they will not be able to, say whatever. So if you are saying this and we say that, but if you compare it to what the NNPC or those that are imported in the country are brought in, do you think they are the same price or Dangote's is quite expensive than theirs?
Well, it's not. So what you were saying is about 2 days ago, and this is how the statement came out, from the Dangote, releasing that statement. That statement reads like this quickly. Our attention has been drawn to the statement attributed to the NNPCL spokesperson, Mr. Olufemi Shoneye, that we sell our PMS at 898 per liter into the NNPCL. This statement is both misleading, mischievous, deliberately aim at undermining the milestone achievement recorded today, September the 15th, 2024, towards addressing the energy insufficiency and the insecurity which has bedeviled this economy in the past 50 years. We urge Nigerians to disregard this malicious statement and await a formal announcement on the pricing by technical subcommittee on the Naira-based crude sales to the local refinery, which is what you talked about, appointed by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, which will commence not until October 1st, 2024, bearing in mind that our current stock of the crude oil was all procured in dollars. So you're not going to get any Dangote, paying in Naira until the 1st of October. It should also be noted that we sold the product to the NNPCL in dollars with a lot of savings against what they are currently importing. With this action, there will be petrol in every local government area of the country, regardless of their remote nature. How are they going to do that? We don't know. With the dilapidated roads that have not been fixed, even the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway for the last 2 decades doesn't seem to be functioning, and we don't have the real network to move this crude oil, this finishing product from the Dangote straight into other part of the state. So that means we would have to rely on not just the terrorists that are waiting for the tankers, but also for the bad roads that continue to create havoc, which will then take us slightly into the Kaduna. There was a bank holiday yesterday in Nigeria. 40 people died on their road network again in Kaduna. The accident, which occurred around 1 p.m. local time on Sunday, involved children who were all traveling to celebrate the Eid Malud, which occurred yesterday.
Wow, listen to Starr Radio. You can be so Olayomi Koiki and not like the studios. I'm Archie here. Let me say good morning to my lovely sister, Rosita. I know it's quite a difficult time with everything that is going on, but may the Lord continue to console us all. Yes, for the loss of your husband and my brother Alfred there as well. Okay, listen, as we go on. Now, let's go on to the flooding that has taken place in Nigeria. I mean, it's quite. I was watching the videos of it and I was like, whoa. So if you look at what is going on in Europe now, where we are talking about the number of people who have died in Europe, if you compare it to what is happening in Nigeria, a lot of people have died, a lot of properties, but as to whether we've got the palliative or the necessary help to get these people out of that place is another question. But the president is sympathizing with them on his visit to Borno State. Tell us more.
Well, I think the president had to change his itinerary, because what we were hearing was that he will be traveling from London to Dubai for the climate change. From Dubai, he will be heading to the General Assembly, before the end of this month. But it seems that, just as maybe for humanity or maybe for the camera, but let's just agree for sympathy, because that is exactly, what was coming from the mouth of the presidency himself, that says that, he has come down to sympathize with the people of Borno State. The question is, can this be avoidable, or should this never have occurred? As usual, the complete mess of the country means that, most of the money that have been diverted and stolen have made the dam not to be invested in, and that means that many more people were now prone to be killed when the flood was coming through as very fast. So let me first take you to what the president said on his visit yesterday to the palace. I'm not sure whether you saw the video of the vice president. A lot of Nigerians were saying, how come there's no crocodile and snake while he was moving in his leg into the water? Maybe all those have been taken out of the water before the vice president was dipping his foot right inside it, because I saw the video, but it looks like, that video will be kept for the campaign, which is going to come up, in 2027 as usual. But in reality, the headline are not coming out very good. The images are very, very disheartening, and it seems that, as usual, when a situation like this happen, that means, the government is asking for more requests and more support from the international community, which is the World Bank and the rest of the international, to come to Nigeria's aid. So I want to pick up on what the president said, and we'll tell you more about the headline and the reaction from many Nigerians as well. As I visited Borno State today, my heart went out to all those affected by the recent flood. I extend my deepest sympathy to those who have lost the loved ones, homes, and the livelihood in this devastating catastrophe. to displace persons. I understand the immense challenges you are facing, and I admire your strength, the courage, and determination amid such hardship. Remember that Nigerians are going through a very, very difficult time. The inflation is not very good. The insecurity is there. And it seems that even the jackpot is becoming very difficult as the UK is tightening, the borders on the education sector. So the headline says, and I quote, Act Now, says World Bank, as the flood displaced 404 million students from school globally. So it's not just Nigeria. The report comes as the Nigerian currently battle the high-level flooding due to the incessant rainfall, which have sacked residents from their homes and community. And some of those images are the one that you're showing behind you right now. So it seems that it's not just a Nigerian issue, it's a global issue. But again, a lot of Nigerians have been affected badly, especially in that, axis. So as usual, it seems that many Nigerians are saying it's all about the rice, because every situation in Nigeria, the government pumping the rice into the sector, whether the rice will solve the issue. This is coming from some of the Nigerians on the Twitter after the presidency posted this. You are an economy of a bad luck. All you have caused Nigeria is tears, sorrows, and blood. You are unnatural disaster, worse than the flood itself. And one more says, no light, you share rice. No fuel, you share rice. No electricity, we share rice. We want good governance. We don't want you to share rice. It is safe to say that President Tinubu is now the new Delican rice.
Well, he's selling rice. He sees that whatever is happening, people will be hungry. So he doesn't want you to be hungry. What about that? Well, Starr ready. Omobolaji, good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well. Nice to have you. OLAKUNLE, good morning to you as well. And then Lizzie Osa, yes, good morning to you. Oh, I hope you're all doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us once again. We'll be going on to look at some of the other stories. But OLAKUNLE says we have really missed the show. Okay, we thank God. We thank God. We have been busy. Yomi has been busy with trying. That's why we're telling you that there's a lot of things going on in the background that we need to make sure it's done for the quest for the Yoruba nation and everything. So things are going on in the background. But thank you very much all for joining in. Now, Yomi, let's come to the insecurity issue that is going on. Well, a couple of days ago, we had the former president's security chiefs. Yes, Obasanjo and is it IBB? IBB, yes, and some security meeting. Now, did they meet outside? I mean, they have their passport. We didn't have a Buhari there, so it was only these three and some security. Is it that they were now looking at the whole thing that the APC have failed the country on that front, and that's why they were meeting exclusively? Why didn't they meet together with the government, military or security chiefs and stuff like that? I didn't have anything of the sort.
Well, as we know, Obasanjo and Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, these are old colleagues. They know each other very well. They've served the country before from the military side, and also as the leader. Obasanjo served as a military dictator, and he also served as a civilian. Babangida could not do that, even though he stepped aside after annulment of the most peaceful, fairest election in Nigeria in 1993. The meeting has always been a suspicious one. Some even think that, maybe they're pushing everything, against this new administration, because we know Obasanjo did not attend a couple of the meetings that are meant for the past presidency, while he was out of the country. A lot of us are very suspicious when those kind of meetings pops up. The question we should be asking is, is Sambisa really a forest, as we've been told? I was watching a video that was produced out of an interview where a teacher was kidnapped in 2014, and it was giving us a different view of what Sambisa looks like. We thought it's just like one big forest, but he actually said that Babangida fenced the whole of Sambisa and is a complete community which is working. And it seems that many Nigerians are now asking the question, is Sambisa exactly what we are told? And if all this insecurity is going on, is this just an insecurity from the international side, or is it an internal problem? And how do we resolve this crisis? The whole country is complete unsafe as we speak today. because of the lack of the government, to fund the security and the protection from the state level, where most of them are earning up to 700 million naira every month. But yet, the level of the insecurity is there. So what is Obasanjo and Babangida going to do that maybe Tinubu will be told to do? What Buhari could not do, when we thought that as an ex-military officer, a general, but it seems that a general that could not defend and protect the territorial ground of this country called Nigeria.
Well, listeners, I thought that he came in at the time because of being the military leader. And it was from that quest that he was boosted for. But we didn't get him to do whatever he's supposed to do.
And already it seems that, the Nigerian army is now reporting the Biafra Liberation Army to the international community.
Yeah. I'm going to go on that one. So, Simon Ekpa and then, what do you call him? The Yoruba, my apologies, the IPOP leader, and everything. What has gone on there as well? Give us a bit of details there, and then the fact that the security, the army have got to report.
Well, over the weekend, a Nigerian army, but from the Yoruba side, was picked up by the Biafra Liberation Army. The Nigerian army has come out to condemn such act, also claim that this personnel is no longer, working for the Nigerian army. Is now an ex. And the army is now asking the International Criminal Court and others to take action against the IPOB and likewise against, the Prime Minister of the Biafra government in exile. So the Nigerian army has asked the Amnesty International, the International Criminal Court, to take immediate action and hold the outlaw indigenous people of Biafra and his sponsor, Simon Ekpa, accountable for crime against civilians in the southeast. But it seems that Simon Ekpa says, well, you have committed more crime by killing innocent, Biafrans. You've not allowed, a discussion of how Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and rendition. So it looks like the Nigerian government have finally accepted that there is a war going on in the southeast between the government in exile of the Biafra and the Nigerian government, and they are now calling the world to come and intervene. So whether the world will be able to intervene, time will tell. But this is coming from the spokesman, Major General Onyema, on Sunday, while reacting to the viral video that showed the IPOB members torturing. I have spoken to Simon Ekpa himself. As at yesterday, even the family was saying to me that they haven't seen this young man, but I can confirm officially after my conversation with Simon Ekpa yesterday that this man is on route now to Abuja. I'm talking about the soldier that the Biafra Liberation Army, picked up and have actually, given it back out. But it's like a warning that, that territory is very hot. We hope that this government will look into the situation, because in December 2nd, the Biafra will be going very hot, according to their declaration that will be coming up in Finland, and we hope to be there as well. But one thing we got to remember is that as they were releasing this young man, Chief Sunday Igboho also gave a good thank you to the Biafra government in exile for releasing this young man. And like I said, I spoke to the family and likewise with Simon Ekpa yesterday, and this young man now have spoken to the family, and as I speak to us right now, is en route to Abuja from Imo State.
Interesting. Now let's come to the request by the APRA. They are all just saying that with every the unrest that is going on at the moment, they said just release Sunday. My apologies, Nnamdi Kanu, and then Nnamdi Kanu says, if I'm released today, I'll make sure that there is peace in that. But they don't seem to be obeying that. And I don't know whether the court hearing is going on, the DSS still holding him in detention, and everything that is going on. Yummy. What's it?
Well, there have been a couple of changes. So, the expectation is Nnamdi Kanu will be returning to court again, I believe, before the end of this month. And that means that we have a new Chief Justice, we have a new DSS, Bichi has resigned, the NIA has resigned, and that means that maybe, just maybe, they will listen to court. The problem is that these institutions think that they are bigger than the court, and they have refused to accept and obey the court order. You're right, the Kanu, through some of his, brought into the court, says, and quote, that he will solve all the insecurity, but he has not at any point condemned all the action of the Biafra government in exile, which a lot of people think he has. Even at some point, somebody wanted to put the question of Simon Ekpa to his mouth, and he actually said no. So that means that, because he believes, the kind of believes that the whole security situation is not the Biafra, it's got to do with these criminal element of their politician that continue to destabilize, the region itself.
Well, listen, let's start already. Mr. Olayomi Koiki, we'll allow him to bring you the rest of any other stories that he's got for you. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, as quickly, because I know we're going to come back out because we've still got the global trouting. Let's just go straight to the business. A lot of Nigerians are struggling, when it comes to, the business situation today. And that means that as I was watching a video this morning, the woman says, some of the biscuits, some of those, things that she would get from the store are no longer there. And the reason is because most of them have not been able to replenish what they are selling. So, and it's all because there is a lot of problem in the country. Let's go straight with these. Let's go straight to the airpiece. There is still a landing issue. Now, Nigeria and the UK battle over the airpiece landing right in Heathrow. I mean, if the British Airways can land in Lagos State, they are not being told to land somewhere else, they can land in Abuja. It seems that airpiece is finding it difficult to land at Heathrow Airport. Rather they've given him a slot in Gatwick, and there've been a lot of complaint, even though Gatwick is quite a bit far away, but depending on which side you're traveling from. So the headline says, Nigeria and UK battle over the airpiece landing right. The central bank may halt interest rate hike, according to the report. Ways to cut expenses during economic crisis. Already a lot of Nigerians are crying out, as many people are struggling, as we speak today. Tinubu promised efficient identity system as the name registration hit 110 million. Somebody was asking me yesterday, they're planning to make their Nigerian passport. And I said, look, if you don't have the name, you will not be able to make a Nigerian passport. There's a lot of centers here in the UK where many Nigerians have been able to, get that done. But it seems that, the slot to apply for a Nigerian passport, is taking you up to 2025. It shows that many Nigerians in the UK and those that are probably the first, second generation, the third or fourth generation that are planning to go to Nigeria over the Christmas might not be able to get a slot because while we were checking, there's no availability until next year. We're going to take one more, which is, the NEC has now ordered Disco to procure 398 megawatt embedded power. The Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission has mandated electricity distribution companies to procure a minimum of 398 megawatt of embedded generation to enhance the reliability of the power sector across the country. Embedded generation, also known as the distributed generation or distributed energy source, refers to electricity generation or storage plant connected to the distribution network rather than the transmission network of the national electricity grid. A lot of Nigerians are also complaining. There's what we call the band hey. That means that you're likely to have electricity, but it seems that the way the bills is coming, it's struggling. And as we know, if there's not stable energy in the country, the productivity will continue to go a little bit, slower than expected. There's an election coming up as usual at Edo State. Petrol crisis is going to threaten the election as the APC PDP set for showdown in Edo State. And I'll take the last one before going back into the conversation of the rally that is coming up in October rather, where a lot of Yorubas will be gathering again, after a very long time. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, the National Bureau of Statistics rather, Nigerian inflation rate slowed to 32.15% in the month of August. Okonjo-Iweala is taking the second time as the World Trade, as we know, and likewise, we talked about the Tinubu visit to Borno State. Only a matter of time, the bandit leader, Bello Tuji, will be killed very soon. This is coming from the Zamfara State governor. We've been hearing that for a very long time, but we'll wait and see if the Nigerian military will be able to do exactly what they're saying. But like I said, in October, which is just a couple of weeks to come, London, we'll be welcoming Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho and many other dignitaries that will be flying from different parts of the world to be part of what we called one of the biggest rally that will be held in the United Kingdom for the Yoruba nation. And this has been put together by Ifelodun Akpapo and likewise the Yoruba World Media Organization and as well the YSDM. I'm also part of this committee and all arrangements continue to be done behind the scene. And I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. And we hope that 1 or 2 days we will be trying to make sure that we can join you. As like say, the project in the hand is winding down, but it seems that another project is kicking in, but there will still be more room. And hopefully we might see if we might kickstart the Niger Voices back before the end of the year. But for now, we will try as much as possible to make sure that we can give the update because there's a lot happening and a lot might be happening before December when the Biafra says they will be making a full declaration to opt out of Nigeria. We hope peace will reign and we hope this government will listen, especially when the citizens are complaining.
Well, listen, it's Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Olayomi, Akilanko, yes, good morning. Good morning to you. It's been a while. Yes. Thank you very much for joining in as well. As many of you who have joined on the various platforms, we salute each and every one of you. Bishop, Bishop Adesina, yes, it says 70% of factories in Nigeria are shutting. And that is, virtually the jobs are not there. The few that are there are also shutting. Definitely because of the exchange rates and definitely because high cost of everything. But what do you think about all that? As Yomi said, as and when he has the time, we'll try to see when we'll be bringing him on. And just be rest assured that every program that is bringing your way will be wonderfully fruitful to you as well. Yomi, let me say thank you very much before you go.
Well, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Continue to engage with this platform and also remember to share and remember to join Archie and myself and all other presenters. Liberia, Ghana, Liberia, and I think Ghana, Gambia are part of those, contesting for the secretary position of the Commonwealth. Maybe the next time we have the discussion, are we really still a member of the Commonwealth? Or is this just one English organization where 56 other African leaders and around the world have been plugged in, and yet we have not been able to gain much out of it? And it looks like those that are contesting for the secretary, which is going to be in Samoa next month, are demanding a reparation fee from the British government. Is that going to happen? Time will tell.
Well, reparation fee. But when we are not together, how can we even have that reparation fee? Because this one says that one says that. And of course, you know that they won't listen to us. Bishop Adesina, before we go, he says that expatriates are now living for better, viable countries, virtually because of the economy and how things are going down in Nigeria. So even expatriates are leaving to go outside to go and work in a better place. What do you think about all that? Lots more going to come your way. Yomi, thank you very much and have a lovely day. My love to the family. We'll catch up later.
Bye for now, Mr. Archie. Good morning.
Right. Good morning. Okay, listeners. This is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Before I go, let me put this announcement through as well. Yes, this is the dinner night. Yeah.
Well, that is how far we can go on the Starr Radio this morning. Probably later on, make sure you stay tuned for more updates from the Yoruba Nation campaign. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Have a very good morning. Bye for now.